Man, everybody love to talk like they on some forever shit. They always gonna be there, this and that. They be on some real temporary shit, dog. For real.
So if you are depressed, if you are struggling with finding or feeling gratitude in your life, I wanted to share with you guys a technique that's helped me massively. I've talked before about practicing restriction or abstinence and different ways to force yourself to feel gratitude, to force yourself to be thankful. I hope you guys, especially if you're into fitness, will give this a shot. You can pretty much do it from anywhere. One of the best places for me has been doing it from home. If I have to wake up at 4 a.m. before my son gets up, sneak into his bedroom and use this technique and get a cardio session in and do this, then I will. A lot of the time, this is how I love to start my day, to really force myself into a positive mindset. And I can literally start it in the darkest place, as I have so many times, and end a 1 or a 2 hour cardio session or a 30-minute cardio session in such a better mental place than when I started. So whether you have 30 minutes, whether you have an hour, if you have 2 hours, great. If you're really in a dark place and you just are struggling to get out of it and find a positive perspective, the more time you have, the better. Don't feel bad. Set aside some time, like I said, sneak into a room and practice these things. So I'm going to tell you guys how I do it. It all starts with restriction and abstinence and forcing yourself to have a positive attitude. So what I like to do, pick a room that you can do some cardio in, that you can listen to some positive media or positive content. For me, I like to go into my son's room. Whatever you want during that cardio session, try to restrict it at first. There's a few things that I really enjoy when doing cardio from home. I have the TV, which I will always put positive content on. If there's something you want to learn, whether it be a language, whether it be some type of promotion, photography, any type of learning, or any positive podcast, so many, just pick one. Put that on in the background for one. But like I said, a few things that I like to have during my long cardio sessions: coffee, kratom, TV, a mirror. I like there to be light in the room. You're going to hold off on some of these things, right? First things first, pick the room. Go into the room. Don't give yourself all the things that you want, whether it be the mirror, the TV, the light from the outside. Put yourself into a dark room at first. What we're going to build up to, by the way, is an environment that you would actually want during a workout. Who wants to go into a dark room with no media, no mirror to check themselves out when they're working out, no audio, just quiet? You don't. So during each step of this cardio process, you're going to allow yourself the things that you want, such as the TV, the mirror, sips of coffee, sips of your pre-workout, opening the blinds to let sunlight in. This is how I usually start it. Also, something that's super important, if you like coffee, something that helps me massively to be present during the workout, to feel gratitude. Every sip, I'm not chugging it. I'm literally smelling it before I take a sip. I'm taking a small sip, and I'm not just swallowing it. I'm being present and enjoying that sip of coffee and acknowledging how it's going to make my body feel. I also enjoy doing small amounts of kratom, very small amounts. I sip on it. And before I swallow it, I take a second or a moment or two and appreciate the fact that I have it, and try to be present with how it's going to make my body feel, and know, hey, every sip is making me feel kind of cool, a little bit better. I'm thankful for it. These small things, I swear to God, are huge, because you literally will appreciate every sip of coffee you have. You'll appreciate every sip of water that you take if you try to be mindful and present before you just consume it. So here we go. Pick your favorite show. Put a cover over the TV maybe. Start in a dark room. Do your first 10 minutes, whatever kind of cardio you want. Jumping jacks, shadow boxing, any body movement, dancing. After 10 minutes or so, after 5 minutes or so, whatever, what have you, allow yourself to play some of that audio content, to play that podcast that you really like. Play some Joe Rogan, play whatever have you, play an audio book. Do another 10 minutes. You'll find that you probably want to turn the light on. You'll find that you probably want to put a mirror up. Don't do those things yet. Give yourself 10-minute intervals before all of these things. And each time that you add something to your environment that you wanted since starting, you'll find that you are so much more appreciative of those things. So 10 minutes go by, you allow yourself the audio. But maybe what I'll do is I'll have a blanket over my TV so I can't watch it. Another 10 minutes go by. I take the blanket off the TV so I can actually watch the podcast and not just listen to it. Another 10 minutes go by. I allow myself to put a mirror up, watch myself do shadow boxing, jumping jacks. I try to focus on my breathing. I try to be almost meditative, to be present, to be calm, not just like hardcore crazy cardio. Like, yeah, you can do that if you want, but for me, my main goal is always trying to get as close to a meditative state as I can. And like I said, I've reached this point many times. It's amazing. It is not easy, and you don't always reach it. but the closer you get, the better you feel. And you always feel better after doing these things. So sometimes you'll want to go longer without some of these things, without allowing yourself the mirror or the light or whatever. That's completely up to you. And I promise the longer you take, the more appreciative you'll be of each thing. Sometimes you don't want to leave yourself in a dark room too long. Your mind can kind of wander and get dark. Sometimes you don't want to spend too much time without some natural sunlight. Everything's got its balance, man. But what I found with starting my sessions like this is I have so much gratitude for each thing I allow myself. I can start these sessions in the worst mindset imaginable, trust me. But by the time I allow myself a little bit of TV, some audio of positive podcasts, the mirror, opening the blinds to let sunlight in, turning the light on instead of being in a dark, confined room. A lot of the time I do these sessions in a small room. It's not very big at all. It's the one I'm in now, my son's room. Gratitude can bring us out of our depression. Real gratitude. Sometimes you can't experience real gratitude until you've taken things away. You've delayed gratification. You've abstained from those things you really want and only allowed yourself those things after you earn them. I earned the sunlight. I earned the podcast. I earned the mirror. By the time these sessions are done, I am so thankful that this little almost prison-like size room is like a mental sanctuary for me. And I'm so grateful for the sun shining through the window, for the positive podcast, the fact that I can be productive and still watch TV, because I don't like watching TV. I don't like sitting and doing nothing, but I do like learning. I do love listening to things that motivate me, that put me in a positive mindset. The best thing about the whole experience is that it forces positivity, especially if you have something fitting on in the background. You don't want anything negative, any bullshit drama TV shows. That's great if you want to put a TV show on too, if this is maybe your first experience with this or maybe another time. But if you're forcing gratitude, it's better to have something positive on in the background. Like I said, by the time these sessions are over or even midway through, I'm so thankful for the smallest things. Without real, true gratitude, we take things for granted. Forcing ourselves to experience this gratitude can help so much. I start my mind state, unfortunately, in a negative space so many times, but I am able to completely flip that around and end a little workout session in this tiny little room in the best mood, with the most gratitude, feeling so thankful, and able to wake my son up with a smile despite the demons that I may have had an hour or 2 hours prior waking up. And I'm ready to attack the day. There's so many other little things you can try that can add on to this and help with this. Experiment with it. Give it a shot. You don't need a gym. You can do it from home in the smallest room, the smallest space. And who would have thought you could appreciate turning a light on in your bedroom? When you experience something like that, you'll know real gratitude, and you can continue building on it from there. I know this will help some of you guys, so I really hope you give it a shot. If it does help, please let me know, and I will post more videos to the Perseverance Fam page. Perseverance Fam stands for a couple things. I have a videography business. Perseverance Fam, FAM, stands for Films and Media. It also stands for Fitness and Motivation. As I do both things, I run a videography business on one end, and I try to put some motivational content out there for a lot of other special needs parents. So if this helps and you give it a shot, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. I really plan on posting more stuff like this, and I have posted a lot of content like this before on overcoming anxiety, dealing with being a special needs parent, as I am a full-time dad to a special needs son. Really hope some of these things help. If they do, let me know. Give me a follow. I really appreciate it. Love y'all. Hope you have a good day. All right.
One does faithfully, you can't make or force someone else to love you. That's true, but a hard pill. Yet I want to give my all still, cause if I ain't real